his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it took.
Watch Johnny's bite.
You know, I've watched you. Sometimes our people disagree with you, but I mean, I understand some of your approach. I mean, sometimes we take a hard bite. It helps us as well.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic. Why? Hey, why do you panic? The way you, Papa. You know Papa.
Figuratively, he bites as hard as he can.
Okay.
And of course, when he puts his fangs into you, you certainly feel it. I think it took.
Watch Johnny's bite. Bismillahir Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Monday, the 13th of January. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Let me take time and say a happy new year to all of you, and thank you to all our patrons and our affiliates across the country, those who pick the feed and those who share the link. Thank you so much indeed. We couldn't have come this far without you. Happy new year to you. May the new year be good, and may all your dreams and all your wishes and all your prayers come true for you in the name of the Most High. Amen. This morning I want to say thank you also to Kofi Otredakun of 1957, showbiz impresario, fashionista. He's also a man of many parts, communications expert, and today is his birthday. He made my beautiful outfit for me. Today happens also to be his birthday. Kofi, happy birthday to you. Live long. If you today's your birthday as well, you share the special birthday with Kofi Otredakun. Somebody told me jokingly that, oh, now that Nanado's tenure has ended and he's gone with Dr. Baumia, what else would Johnny's Bite be talking about? And I said, well, find me a head pad, because I want to carry that special chair that Nanado had around. And I said that cheekily because the very people who at some point thought that whatever it is that we're talking about here, the key issues which in the long run, you had key party people in the MPP talk about the fact that they should have listened at least, are the very people who are now coming back to dictate the pace. Some are now coming to me, some of those people who said, oh, what you are doing is wrong, is bad, you have to stop it, it's unprofessional, you're a stomach journalist, you are not objective, you should be neutral, you should be this, all those things that were said, you have cashed out, you have done all those things that were said. Those very people are coming back to now say, oh, talk about this issue and talk about that issue. Well, let me serve notice. While you were taking screenshots to send to your paymasters for your 700 Ghana cedis, your 20 megabytes and your 40 megabytes, I was also taking screenshots for the benefit of today. Listen to me well. While you were busy taking screenshots for your paymasters so that you get your monthly allowance or whatever it is, and also to get data and to be empowered to be in the good books of the powers that be then, right? I was also taking screenshots for today. So if any of you whose screenshot I have saying all those unpalatable things about the editorial that we do here, which has enlightened a lot of people by far, and I know a lot of big people in this country, very knowledgeable, very influential people who pay attention to what we say here, because what we say here is laden with facts, is value laden. So you took the screenshots for the benefit of Nokofio. We took the screenshots for the benefit of today. So that today when you come in, you say we should do this, we will ask you what your principled stand is. Because no principled person will say one thing in the past and come and say a different thing in the future. If it was wrong then, it is still wrong. You don't want to be at that party. Number two, those elders and sane voices in society who kept mute over the last 8 years, please, the youth of Ghana say I should tell you to keep mute. Because you may not like how they will respond to you. So the youth of Ghana have asked me to serve you a kind notice that if you kept mute over the last 8 years, while you saw a chair being carried in a V8 and you kept mute, please keep mute as we speak. Don't voice out, as Bukom Banku will say. Moledin. Because if you speak up, they may speak up, and in fact, if they're speaking up, might sound disrespectful to you and to others who are of or within your age bracket. So please, don't let anybody disrespect you. If you kept mute, then keep mute. Somebody said, oh, in the last 8 years, what we decided, the strategy we decided to adopt was that if we saw something that was not good, we would rather go to the person that the matter concerns privately and not come and say it publicly as we did in the past. That's well, touché. If you see something now, don't come and say it privately. Come and say it publicly. Go privately to that person and go and say it to them. The youth of Ghana say I should serve you this notice. Number 3, I've seen a lot of people on social media talk about the fact that the recent fires that we have, the Kantamanto fire, the Saglemi fire, the Kumasi Market fire, the Techiman and all those fires, they say they know the people who are behind it. And this is where you want to see your police and your national security and your investigative arm of the government and your system move into action. And they should just extend a kind invitation to those people to come forward and come and mention the names of those people who they know and are very sure of as being behind those fires. I will be very surprised if invitations have not already been extended to those people to come and tell the world and to tell the authorities the names behind those fires. I will be surprised. Because if it's the same Ghana police that I know that arrested people for demonstrating against what we are all trying to fight, Galamsey, they should be able to extend an invitation to the people who are making those bogus claims. They should be able to extend an invitation to them. And if they find out that they were just trying to gaslight the whole country, the law should deal with them. Because it is not a joke. It's actually very painful if you know the structure of Kantamanto. We have all been beneficiaries of Kanta before. Kantamanto Tema Station, we have all gone there to buy clothes before. We have all gone there to do alteration before. We have all gone there to do fair selection before. I mean, people still go there to buy things. It's a whole industry and a whole value chain for a lot of people. People go there, they wake up, they have nothing in their pocket. You remember that guy? It's a movement. All of them, they go and benefit from Kantamanto. So if Kantamanto is burnt today, it's a big problem. And if Kantamanto is burnt today and somebody is suggesting that, I know who it is, you should invite them. Extend an invitation to them. Number 4. Today will be the what? Is it the 5th or 6th day? The 5th day out of the 120 days that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised, the first 120 days. Today is day 5, right? Now, in day 5, what has he been able to do? I can tell you from the top of my mind that the skeletal staff of the Jubilee House, of the Flagstaff House, as they would call it, because the MPP calls it Jubilee House, MDC calls it Flagstaff House. I don't know where the confusion comes from. The skeletal staff, you have chief of staff, you have head of security, you have a spokesperson, you have, 1 or 2 people. So they've set that up. 3 persons have been nominated: Minister for Energy, Minister for Finance, and then Attorney General, Minister for Justice. MMDCs have been sacked as we speak. They've asked them not to hold themselves again. Lands Commission has been asked not to continue with any sale of public lands, and we'll get into public lands. And so some other things that they have done. Now, before we get into those issues, Mr. President, good morning to you. Congratulations to you, Mr. John Dramani Mahama. These are 10 sins of President Akufo-Addo that you should never be seen to be repeating. 10 sins. And please pay attention to me. I am not qualified to advise any president. But by virtue of the fact that I practice as a journalist and I have a platform, I think that my small voice can be heard. 10 sins of President Akufo-Addo that must never be repeated by you. Number one, do not be a clearing agent. Number one, don't be a clearing agent. May it never be said about you that your appointees are seen committing wrongs, and then you are the first to come to their aid to say it wasn't them. They did nothing wrong. Whether it is Australian visa scandal or Cecilia Dapa's money or whatever it is, may it not be you who will be called a clearing agent. In the past, you have done it before. You have jailed your own appointees before. So that must continue. If you really mean Operation Recover or Loot, that must continue. May you never ever allow yourself to be called a clearing agent. Because you see, the confidence that Ghanaians reposed in you at the polls has never happened in this country before. The last time anybody came close to what you have was Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He had a lot of goodwill. 2017, a lot of goodwill. Then the goodwill started dwindling when he decided that he wasn't going to listen to anybody. They asked him, tone down the number of ministers. He said, oh, no, I know where I'm going. I'm in a man in a hurry, all of those things. After 8 years, we knew where we were. So may it not be said about you that you are a clearing agent. Number two, may it not be said about you that you are the mother serpent of all corruption. It's another sin of Akufo-Addo that he never was able to cleanse himself of. Mother serpent of all corruption. May it never be said about you. Sin number three, wastefulness. Wastefulness, where we prioritize a chair in an air-conditioned V8, fully fueled by the resources of the state, carried by 2 able-bodied people, plus a driver, while the children in Tolong, Young and Sang, the children in my beloved Bogu, and all the 47 villages therein, were learning with their stomachs on the floor. May it never be said about you that you valued, how people will perceive you over the lives of the people that you swore with the state sword to protect and honor. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you that you took our state resources and put it on a private plane and put Sewa Bruni on it. May it not be said about you. I'm saying these are 10 sins of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo that you should never repeat. 10. 10 sins, 10. That Sewa Bruni will be granting interviews now to Kevin Taylor and the rest and telling them stuff that we should ordinarily not be hearing. With photos flying around. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you that you came to perfect the family and friends government. The previous government complained about family and friends. They made a mountain out of a mold out of the family and friends. In the end, we saw how many family members were in the government, how many friends and cronies and assigns were in the government. May it not be said about you. We are talking about 10 sins of Akufo-Addo. May it not be said about you that you took money that you were not supposed to take, dipped your hand into people's pockets, and put the biggest hole ever, most expensive ever in the world, Akufo-Addo Cathedral. May it not be said about you. That is the height of wastefulness. And a proper probe must go into it. All those people who were around it, who chopped around it, who chopped inside it, who chopped outside it, who chopped beside it, who chopped on top of it, who chopped under it, all those people, they must be dealt with. You chop on top, you chop under, you chop side, you chop inside, you chop around. National Cathedral. It was not a national cathedral. It was President Akufo-Addo's own pledge to his God that if you give me a second term, I will build you a cathedral. How that thing metamorphosed from a personal cathedral to a national cathedral where we were spending monies that we were told we would not spend, where we were now spending monies that had not been approved by Parliament. May it not be said about you that you did a similar thing. That hole there has become a biggest national embarrassment. And some of the voices in this country, very, very deep voices, respected voices, were associated with it. May it not be said about you. May it not be said about you that you did that. May it not be said about you. Mr. President, may it not be said about you that you took your hand and put it inside the pocket of pensioners, of people who needed their savings and their investment to buy their BP medication, diabetes medication, whatever it may. It not be said about you that you did DDEP. After mismanaging everything, that you did DDEP. You see, when you came in, you came to inherit a situation where our fuel tanks were empty. When you were leaving, Mr. Wadaku left 6 months of strategic fuel for national security reasons in the tanks. When you came in, you met an empty tank. That's why you have quickly appointed Mr. Jinapo, Dr. Forsing, and then Dr. Ine, because you want to quickly solve that particular matter. And yesterday, some people were asking, oh, how much did the National Thanksgiving Service cost? I say, Chairman, you are asking how much the National Thanksgiving Service cost. That's good. Ask of it. But did you spend time to ask how much the National Cathedral was costing the taxpayer? You see, when you ask of Thanksgiving service and you don't ask of the National Cathedral, it shows that you are unintelligent and it shows that you are not applying common sense. The Oxford English Dictionary says anybody who is not applying common sense and demonstrates unintelligence is stupid. So if you ask for one because it relates to another political regime and you don't ask of another, the Oxford English Dictionary says you are demonstrating unintelligence and lack of common sense, and together that is stupid. So you are telling everybody by your question that you are stupid. Forgive my French. And these are educated people. Now, the other one is do not grab and give to your children. Do you understand? I see your children around you, Sharaf and all those. Don't grab what belongs to the state and give to your children. You grab ambulance servicing deal when there's no company and you give to your children. You grab this land and you give to your child. You grab this one and you give. You grab this one, boyfriend, take. You grab this one. May you not be seen grabbing and giving. It's one of the sins of President Akufo-Addo that you should not repeat. There's another sin. May you not be seen disrespecting chiefs and kings in this country, where your bodyguard, who is supposed to be a chief, will now use his left hand to signal chiefs who are greater and higher. I am a gun. The chief of Alajo is not bigger than some of those chiefs that he was signaling with his left hand to get up. He's not. He's a sub-chief, pretty much like me. Right? And using your left hand to signal for chiefs who are bigger and greater than you to get up using your left hand. You know what it means? We should look, and even as the citizens, those of us who queued in the sun, whether they voted for you or they did not vote for you, you must respect the citizens. Chiefs particularly, kings particularly, queens particularly, don't be seen disrespecting them and asking them to get up to greet you. No, no, no. Don't be seen to be doing that. And by extension, all the citizens. Is one of the sins that Akufo-Addo committed that the people never forgave him. So he lost the elections in 2024 for MPP and Dr. Bawumia. That was what President Akufo-Addo did. Yeah. He lost the elections for the MPP. And nobody could say it. It is after the defeat. It is after the defeat that everybody in the party now is talking. I heard Mr. Kodjon Pienu the other time talking. Say, oh, he hijacked the party. I said, you are now speaking. They are now speaking. Why didn't you speak then? May it not be seen that you disrespect chiefs. kings and queens. No. May it not be seen that you are just handpicking people to appoint because they may have contributed some money or whatever it is. No. It's one of the sins. Don't do that. May it not be seen that you are more interested in traveling in private jets and hiring expensive jets that the people of Ghana cannot pay for. You say we are in dire straits. You have seen the books. You have seen what is inside the books, Mr. President. It's time for us to be austere. And if we have to be austere, flying private jets is not part of being austere. Maybe last two, and then we'll wrap. Please, create real jobs, not slogans. Create real jobs, not slogans. We have had too many slogans. I can ask a 12-year-old, 10-year-old to recite the slogan. They will recite all the slogans. But people are still unemployed. It's one of the sins that you must flee from. Create real jobs and not slogans. And then finally, Mr. President, make it a point to meet the press. President Akufo-Addo, former President Akufo-Addo, he failed to meet the press. After 2019, he failed to meet the press until he left power. He failed to meet the press. He failed to meet the press. You should not fail to meet the press. I remember when you were president, you had accounting to the people. I remember that. The president, former President Akufo-Addo, started very well. And then in 2019, truncated it. That was the last time. He never met the press again. Now he was meeting school children to tell them why Dr. Bawumia was the expert. Don't repeat that sin, Mr. President. Meet the press. Hear the questions. Take the bullets. It will help you to understand what's going on the ground. Don't surround yourself with sycophants who will be singing your praise and who will be very dismissive of the plight of the people. I said, when I started Johnny's Bites, there were 2 presidential staffers who came here at different times, driving in our V8, fueled in our V8, came here to tell me that we cannot sustain Johnny's Bite beyond 6 months. They came here to tell me that. After 2 years, they came back to say, oh, they said we can't sustain it, but they beg. Now we should. I said, no, we are creating content, putting content and educating the people and enlightening them. What do we do here? We pick a portion of the Constitution, we read, we explain. We pick a letter, we read, let the retirees go, all those things. So the people were better informed. Don't keep sycophants around you, because those same sycophants found themselves closer to the center of power. They were so dismissive even of research by Musa Dankwa and the rest. Insulted them, denigrated them, character assassinated them. Today, the reality is staring all of us in our face. So these are 10 sins. Maybe sometime we'll continue. Mr. President, I saw something in the Ashanti region, Ibrahim Abubakar. You know, on one of my trips, when I used to do a lot of trips outside Accra, I went to the Volta region. The then Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Lecha, very fine man. I called him my big uncle. We went to the Regional Coordinating Council, the residency, and he had kept the place in pristine order. Take me to the Ashanti region, Chief. Let's look at what the Ashanti Regional Presidential Suite at the residency, what it has become. So our former Minister for Ashanti region is not only disrespectful and arrogant, so there's also incompetence in the mix. When I say disrespectful and arrogant, you remember the school feeding caterers and how he spoke to them and he said he won't apologize to them, all those ones. You remember the Ejura shooting? You remember that? Ejura is now still on fire. Find me that video, please. Let's play the video. The Ashanti Regional, look at what the residency has become. Look, just pay attention.
This is the current state of the residential facilities at the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council. Now, most of the buildings here have been left to rot without any form of renovation for the past 8 years. The official bungalows sitting within the Regional Coordinating Council environment have not been occupied since 2017. Both the regional minister's residence and the presidential villa have been covered by weed, signaling years of neglect. Door and window frames, air conditions, furniture, and other domestic wares have all been removed when the National Democratic Congress regional executives inspected the facility to assess its current state.
When we are in power, you can see this place green. The grasses we cut, the flowers we shape them. When you enter this premises, you feel that this is the government seat. But now, we know that we are going to waste more money to bring it back, because when we appoint a regional minister now, where is he going to sleep? Are we going to rent a hotel? They've caused financial loss to the state.
This state-owned pickup has also been left here for the past 8 years. The regional executives of the National Democratic Congress want an investigation to be launched to ensure people in high office do not allow taxpayers' money to go waste going forward.
The state spent. His Excellency J. Ekufuor built the presidential villa. His Excellency Johnnie Beresford Hughes and His Excellency John Mahama built the other one behind it. So you see, it goes beyond MPP and DC. It's about the country. You can't leave this. Look at the state of this whole building. Whoever is responsible of making sure that this place was maintained to the highest of standard, you make sure that the person was not negligent.
So, question is, where was President Akufo-Addo sleeping each time he went to the Ashanti region? Because the concept of residency, as was envisaged by President Nkrumah and all other presidents, have made sure that they followed through. Where was he sleeping whenever he went to the Ashanti region? I want to understand. And how much did it cost the taxpayer if he wasn't sleeping at the residency? If he was sleeping in a hotel, how much did it cost the taxpayer? It's a question that we must ask. You see how we treat state property. Where was the regional minister himself? Where was he sleeping? Was he sleeping in his private residence? And was he being paid allowances for sleeping in his private residence? It's a question that we must ask. But quickly, there's something on oral, Operation Recover or Loot. Mr. Martin Kpebu was on Key Points last Saturday. He said that, the NIB boss, not the BNI, National Investigations Bureau, or BNI as you know it, he had given up on some land that he had acquired, so they will not be going after him. There's one with the man's picture. Please pull up for me. It's a document that Mr. Okudzeto Ablakwa had shared. So, for those who don't know, Nana Tubra Kweku was at the Dankwa Institute. You know the Dankwa Institute, right? Until he became the BNI boss or the NIB boss. I'm just showing this to you. Tomorrow we'll get into it, right? Tomorrow we'll get into the land, where it is situated, how much it costs, how much he bought it for or is purported to have bought it for, and whether or not he's still holding on to it or has left it. Because there are specific instructions from his lawyers. They have written to say that the things that were said by Mr. Martin Kpebu were false. So the documents that we have, what Mr. Ablakwa had said, what Mr. Kpebu had said, what his lawyers have said, we'll put all of them together. And then you, as usual, will be the one to make the judgment as to whether the land belonged to the state and the land has exchanged hands and gone into private hands, into Nana Tubra's hands, and how much he paid for it or how much he did not pay for it. What is the real value of that land at cantonment? And whether or not, if you want to buy, say, a land at Fise or Gomoa Afranse someplace, how much it costs and how much a land at cantonment is supposed to cost. We'll get into all those details using the documents. Because as for Johnny's Bite, it is documents. Video, audio, documents. We don't speak by heart. We don't speak by heart. We are back. Tell somebody that we are back. Share the link. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good morning. Please call me 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. 055-924-2717 and 055-691-0154. Call me and let's have a conversation. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Peter T, how are you?
I'm fine, Johnny. Long time.
Yes, sir.
Oh, happy New Year.